So the folks at Blender Procedural have created AquaFlow Pro. This is an advanced fluid dynamics tool in Blender which allows you to create high detailed and complex fluids by simply using geometry node. This comes with a couple of assets and the setup for this is super easy. And for those who like to check this out or simply use it, then you can go over to the link in the description that will bring you right here where you can grab it. It's also worth mentioning that the folks at Blender Procedural also have a couple of generators that caters to several needs. And with that said, let's dive directly into Blender and take a look at how the AquaFlow Pro actually works. And with Blender simply open up right here, how this works is relatively easy. All you need to do is click and drag the file right into Blender, and from there you can start accessing every single thing that comes with it. Or you can go over to File, click on Append, locate where this file has been saved, go over to the node tree and select all of the nodes and append them. And once you do that, if you go over to the modifier, you would notice that you have a section called Unassigned, and right there you would see the AquaFlow curve all the way down to the wet maps. And this is pretty interesting. So first things we need to do is just get rid of the cube and Suzanne that comes with it. Next thing we need to do is to create a simple path, and we're going to go in and move this path around. So this is basically what we want. We would like to get the fluid to move in a particular direction, and that is how you control fluids right here. So once you have this ready, the next thing you would like to do is select the object, go over to your modifier, go to Unassigned and click on AquaFlow Curves. And this presents a particle tool which you can use to start simulating particles through the curve that we just created. So if we press the playback button, you would now notice that this starts creating fluid through that same path that we've made. At any point in time, we can simply stop the animation and we can inspect it. And this is what we have. And the simulation itself has parameters. You can go in and change the parameters of the simulation that you're making. If you like to mesh this at any point, you can click on the mesh particles and this would mesh it. Of course, if you like to preview this, you can simply go ahead and preview it. Let's switch these over to GPU, jump right in here. And from here, I would also want to turn off the world scene so that we can see this even more. So in this case, you can see what we have going on here, looking pretty. We can, of course, play with whatever HDRI that we have here and get some very interesting looking result. And for collision, what we're going to do is set this all the way back, and I'm going to create a simple grid. With this done, the next thing you need to do is just select the object, go all the way to where you have your modifier, and with the eyedropper, we're going to make this our collider. So press the playback button and watch this happen. Of course, if you like to get more detailed fluid simulation, you need to keep the particle density really high. If you like to get something that is quick and easy and nice, probably just want to simulate this from afar, then you would need to go here and drop the particle density to something lower than this. But other than that, this does a very interesting job. And of course, you can go ahead and do as many collision simulation that you want and get the best out of it. Additionally, if you're thinking about instancing on the fluid, now you can. So all you need to do is select the object and make sure you enable instancing, and this would instance on the fluid. And this is really cool for those who are making some very interesting fluids, as you can now instance both fruits and vegetables or whatever you're trying to make on the fluid that you've just created. Now for our next example, we're simply going to load in a grid. Now with the grid here, what we can do is click, go all the way to the unassigned, and we can emit from ground. So what this does is it starts emitting from the ground plane. And this will be super cool for things like snow. So say for example, you want to create snow, white water, all of that, then this will be really good. Let's proceed to mesh it and see what we get. Now for preview, this looks pretty much like what we looked at earlier. At any point in time you want to make changes, all you need to do is go over to the modifier, go right here, and you can change it to whatever material that you want. The next one which we have here has to do with emitting from object, and it's pretty much the same thing with what you have with the previous one that emits from ground. Although the simulation of this is a little bit more brownier in terms of motion, but at the same time, you definitely would get almost the same sort of result when working with this. And for sure, this also has a couple more parameters that you might want to check out. The next one which we have is the AquaFlow Morph. Now, this is pretty interesting. I don't know the use case for this, but it's quite interesting to see it here. So for this, what I'm going to do is bring out Suzanne. Let's subdivide Suzanne about that much, and we can start doing some stuff. So with this here, all you need to do to get things going is to use the eyedropper and select Susan. And once you have that character selected, the next thing which you can do is just go ahead and play with the morph rate. So if we set this all the way back, press the playback button, of course this just does all of its magic, but then the more you increase the morph rate, the more this begins to morph to this object. I don't know what the use case would be like, probably create a character and put them in a bubble of water or something like that, but then this is pretty interesting. There are a few parameters that this also comes with, and if you're interested in stuff like this, then you might want to consider checking it out. And the final one we have here is the wet maps. So the idea behind the wet maps is this, that if an object moves across the surface, it gives the idea that it has been there before. So for this to work, what you need to do is to go ahead, have the object selected, and click on AquaFlow wet map. So by simply adding the wet map, the next thing you need to do is to use the eyedropper and select the object. Now, this object that you need to select needs to be animated. And in this case, we're just going to simply animate this object across our model. So press the playback button, you would notice that it creates a wet map. Now, the object that you're using for your wet map, the resolution matters. If you subdivide this a lot, the interaction wet map or the transfer would be way cleaner than what you have. Another good case to look at with this is in simulations like, for example, like this one. Say, for example, you would want a ball to go all the way down and skid through the surface and maybe go all the way up. You can use this to do some very interesting things. And before we go, here's something I noticed about AquaFlow. So if you're trying to make a simulation where the fluid fills up a container, this is currently not available. But other than this, every other thing seems to work fine. So this is it. For those who are thinking about checking this one out, the AquaFlow Pro is currently available, and you can find this with the link in the description. And of course, if you're thinking about creating a fluid simulation that is inexpensive, that will save you so much time, which is made totally with the geometry node, then you can definitely go to town and see this one for yourself. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section. And of course, if you like this video or you learned something from this, you can go ahead and give a like, and don't forget to share with a friend. And until I see you guys in the next one, peace.